The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101 and celebrating easier than ever not to get pregnant, as yesterday federal regulators have passed and approved the nation's first over-the-counter birth control pill. It won't be available till early next year, but it will allow American women and girls to obtain contraceptive medication without a prescription. However, Kenzie says you should still do that. I know nothing about what women go through with the pill situation, and still says go to a doctor.
I've had dangerous situations with birth control. Now there's people in dangerous situations, like young girls where their parents aren't supportive, or it's very expensive to go to doctors if they don't have great insurance, all those things. So that it's great that it's more easily attainable. But if your parents are okay with you going, if you're old enough to go, if you have insurance, go to a doctor, because I had so many issues with different kinds, and it's good for them to be able to test your blood. Do you have, thicker blood where you're likely to have blood clots, so you should go on a different one? There's all sorts of things that it's really important from a safety aspect. But I also think that they should be more focusing on, there's a lot of female options and almost no male ones. Mm-hmm. And the one male one they have, they love to just take off without telling people. So I think that they should just work on that. And Sam texted in, and I love this, and said there actually was a trial for male birth control, but they canceled it because their participants in the trial hated the side effects. Yeah. Which are the exact same side effects of women's birth control.
I want to see more of the data on that.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I trust our texter there. Yeah.
You don't believe women very often.
Well,
okay.
I believe.
And then Mark texted in and
Cut
said,
me off.
Had a vasectomy, best decision ever. Brian, you're being a little bitch.
Oh, well, excuse me.
That was Mark, so don't get all woman feisty right now.
Okay, Mark. Well, excuse me for not trusting the medical system for when they take a scalpel down there.
But you want us to trust the medical system and do it.
Not with a scalpel. You can take pills and the other stuff you mentioned.
Yeah, those have no lifelong effects. Put an
IED in there? Is that what it was?
Do you think that's simple? Do you think that doesn't hurt? Do you know that I actually threw up and fainted when I got mine and had to be at the doctor for 3 hours?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
So it was easy peasy?
I'm sorry I wasn't there.
I'm happy you weren't there personally.
Oh, how about this? So I asked for people that had vasectomies. Kenzie thinks it's easily reversible. I'm not buying it unless I hear from a doctor that it's easily reversible, a vasectomy. But we have our big boss man on, the big boss man.
Our actual boss, you guys' boss is calling in.
Yeah, Marv's checking in, who I golfed with yesterday, and he says he's had a vasectomy, and I watched him walk on the golf course. I didn't notice any problems walking with him. I feel like if I get a vasectomy,
you were watching him walk?
I did. Oh, he's a handsome man. And I just thought, but I just feel like if you get a vasectomy, you walk funny after that. That's my impression of it.
Maybe like the second after, Brian.
No, forever.
No.
But Marv is super handsome and he walks fine. Marv, ahoy.
Ahoy, everybody. How are you?
Excellent. So I didn't know this about it. You learn something about people every day that you've known for years. I didn't know you had a vasectomy.
Well, it's fun. I'm driving and listening to you guys, and you're talking about it. And I said, hey, wait, I thought I had told you the story. And, two things, Brian. First, it's a wonderful excuse. If there's whether it's the March Madness, Final Four tournament, the Masters, various events that take 4 or 5 days, a great golf tournament, you get it done on Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, and you're on a couch with a bag of frozen peas, keeping you comfortable. And that's it. And you get to sit on the couch for 4 days watching golf or tennis or football or baseball or basketball or whatever.
That's a sales pitch.
That's a great pitch because Marv's a salesman. Marv's the best salesman in the city, in the country, maybe. Also, can I sit on pizza rolls instead of peas so I can at least eat something maybe later on once they warm up?
Disgusting.
As long as it's frozen. That's it. As long as it's yeah.
You want to eat your pizza rolls? It's disgusting.
But Brian, honestly, it takes 2 minutes. It's the easiest thing I had ever done in my life. Although I went in there thinking, am I going to walk out and have a limp for the rest of my life, like you were saying? No, not at all. Easiest thing, as you mentioned on the golf course yesterday. Didn't help my golf swing though. But, it's a piece of cake. I highly recommend it to anybody that, because after I was going to have two, I have 3 kids. I thought I was done after 2. So after the third, which is a surprise, my wife and I said, yep. Time for a vasectomy.
Oh, boy. I'm sure that third one's happy to hear about that on the radio, the surprise there.
Oh, yeah. She's been told many times she's a blessing, a mistake blessing. Yeah.
That won't be a therapy bill. A little therapy bill later on in life. There you go.
She gets the nicest car. Yeah.
Well, now, have you thought of ever reversing it now and going for 4?
No. I mean, I'm a little older than you, Brian. So after the 3rd, I was done, and doneer. So no complaints.
Okay. Well, you sold me. I think he sold me.
One time.
So I'll go. Hey, Brian, I'll go with you and hold your hand.
Thank you. That's nice. Kenzie won't do that. She won't come along there and hold my hand during the procedure.
No, I will not. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, no, one final funny part of the actual procedure, which literally takes 5 minutes. You go in there, you're laying down, they're doing it. All of a sudden, I kind of went, "What's that smell?" And the doctor goes, "Those are your," what word can I say? Pelotas? Can I use that? I go, "Say what?" They cauterize things very quickly. You don't feel anything.
Ooh.
You feel nothing. You feel nothing. I promise you. Absolutely nothing.
God. Okay.
And then you walk home and you lay down, and I timed it right for the Masters. I had mine done the first week of April about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And it was a piece of cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're selling me. I'm trying to have one more kid, and then I'll do that then after that, I think.
Can you please do it? Because then I'll have 4 days off here, too. Doing it on Monday.
Hey, Marv, Kenzie needs more equal vacation days now.
Yeah.
She deserves more for what women have to go through.
I
jeez.
love Marv. Marv's my man.
Catering in, jumping in there. All right, Marv, thank you so much for calling.
All right, guys. See you in a while.
We'll see you in a few minutes. That's our big boss man, Marv, who said he had a vasectomy. And like I said, he learned something about people every day. I don't think he told that story to us. Don't know. Now, listen, I'm getting there. If I get one more kid, I'll do the vasectomy, I think. Jason's checking in from Crown Point. Jason, ahoy.
Ahoy, good morning.
Good morning, buddy. So have you had one? Are you thinking about one? What's your deal?
So I did have one. I have a 7-year-old, about to be 8-year-old twin girls, and I've been deathly terrified that we would have another pregnancy and end up with twins again. So I went ahead and had the vasectomy in December.
Yep.
Marv, he's telling you the truth. The procedure itself is not a big deal.
Okay,
in
good.
and out. Doctor was super cool. Kept conversation going to distract me. My wife was in there holding my hand. Same thing. I was like, "What's that smell?" It smells like burnt hair. And he's like, that's yeah.
That's the cojones.
So get it done. Get home. Make myself a nice little throne on the couch. Bag of peas, all that good stuff, and went to move and felt this weird pull on my right side. And I call immediately, same day of the surgery. She's like, bruising, swelling, totally normal, blah, blah, blah. If you have any problems, call us back Friday. Call back Friday. Didn't get in touch with them. Waited the weekend. Talked to them Monday. They're like, okay, hey. I'm like, look, I am scared. I can't pee standing up. Like, I can't see my junk. I'm swollen. They're like, okay, it's normal. I said, look, let me just come see the doctor, okay? Let me get a face-to-ball consult so you can look at it and tell me that everything's okay.
My husband asks for those all the time.
So I get in there, and doctor's like, what's going on? And I said, well, let me just show you. And I dropped trow, and his face just dropped. And he's like, oh, shit, that's not good.
Oh, easy, buddy, easy. Easy there.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. He said let's see.
He said, oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah, he said the doctor got in there, dropped his pants, and the doctor said, oh, dear, that's not good.
Oh, my.
I had to dump you because he swore there because he was getting so passionate and remembering this experience.
Did he actually take the whole thing off?
Well, in 17 years of practice, he said he had never seen anything like that. And it turns out after my CT scan that I had a 10 by 5 by 4 centimeter hematoma that went from my scrotum to my inguinal cavity, where I had a hernia back in 2005. So something happened where it tightened up, it pulled, and I was bleeding internally. My whole entire pelvis was purple.
I'm out.
I'm out. And again, vasectomies are routine, complications are minimal. 17 years, he had never, ever seen anything like this.
Okay, but where are you at today then? Where are you at right now?
Right now I'm good. Like, I still have pains here and there, but that's because there's still some of that hematoma that has pinched the nerve. So like, just imagine somebody is like taking like a little flick to your beanbag and that feeling you get in your stomach.
You get that all the time now?
Randomly, not all the time, randomly.
I was all good.
Especially-
Marvin sold me. Marvin sold me that if I have another kid, I'll get a vasectomy. And
You
now
had a previous hernia, right?
maybe I got one. Maybe I got a hernia.
2005, and it was repaired.
I'm sorry, start over there with the hernia thing.
So I had a hernia in 2005 when I was in the military. It was repaired, no issues. Even when we were getting ready to do the surgery for the vasectomy, he did my left side first, and then he went to the right side, and he's like, this is the side you had your hernia. I said, yes. He's like, okay. So full disclosure, they knew about it going in.
Did you give him a bad Yelp review?
I can't fault him.
That's very nice.
I just can't. He didn't do anything wrong. The only thing that I would be mad about was the aftercare. And it's almost indicative of the medical system in itself, especially for women, where women are dismissed for their complaints of pain and complications. You see women bleeding out after pregnancy. They're not taken seriously. Well, I wasn't taken seriously for 3 days after this vasectomy because swelling, bruising is normal.
Yeah.
But I was bleeding internally.
All right. So I don't know what to do anymore. I'll have to think about it.
7 months of what I've been dealing with is definitely worth it compared to having another child.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The guy with internal bleeding said it was worth it. So I'm just throwing it out there.
All right, Jason, listen, man.
Again,
Jason.
I have 8-year-old twins, and that's kind of the balance of the matter, I guess.
Yeah, Jason, listen, thank you for sharing your story. Appreciate it. You went through a lot, and thank you for your service, by the way, and all that. So we'll say some prayers for you that you get a full, complete recovery, hopefully in the next several months.
Oh, I am way better than I was before, but you guys have an awesome day, and have a good weekend.
Oh, you too, buddy. You too. Have a great one. Yeah. I think I'm out on that vasectomy now. I think I'm out.
Yeah, I'm just mad at you today.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie here on Q101 and talking about a groundbreaking decision yesterday that happened with the government. Federal regulators approving the nation's first over-the-counter birth control so American women and girls can obtain contraceptive medication as easily as you go to the store to buy aspirin or whatever. And this is awesome. Although Kenzie's made it very clear and really educated me this morning on all the things women go through. And like my wife was on birth control also for, 18, 19 years before we tried to have kids. And then we have a kid now. And I saw her go through the I guess it was, the only way I can say it is kind of detoxing from that many years of taking the pill. And it was wild because she actually didn't have the problems you had, Kenzie, with taking the pill. And then she had more problems getting off of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened afterwards. She took it and it was fine all those years of taking it, but the detoxing was the problem for her.
Well, what's frustrating is that women, it would be nice to share the burden, I guess. So women have a lot of stress and anxiety around being able to get pregnant when, work what it was supposed to, or, you decide as a couple you want to, things like that, right?
Yeah.
So there's all of that pressure, and your body goes through a lot for recovery. And I had a friend who got cauterized after having a kid 5 times. She couldn't walk for almost 6 weeks after giving birth.
God.
She couldn't stand up without bleeding, okay? So these aggressive things happen. It would be nice if we didn't carry the burden of being the one responsible for not getting pregnant the whole time, and then also carry the burden for being the one to get pregnant. So it'd be kind of nice to split it, because we can't hand that off, right? So that's fine. But if there was a male birth control, so it's like, okay, they've kind of taken the reins on that, and we take the reins on this, versus... As a woman, it's very confusing to spend your whole life trying not to get pregnant for a vast amount of it, and then spend this tight amount of time where it's like, well, go see a doctor, and you're not pregnant yet, and you're not doing what you're supposed to. And it's like, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
it's very drastic.
You know me now. With my OCD, I still wore protection even though Megan was on birth control.
Yeah, you were nuts about it. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know.
Hey.
Oh. Because I was still paranoid. Because you hear those stories of women on birth control and they still get pregnant. It's kind of more rare, I guess. I don't know how often somebody that has on birth control gets pregnant. I'd have to look those stats up.
That does happen. That actually, my aunt both times is on birth control and got pregnant. She must be like immune. I don't know what it is. It makes her more fertile. I don't know what goes on with her, but she has 2 kids.
She built her tolerance up to birth control?
I don't know what it was. Well, it was not a good brand.
We got in the conversation of vasectomies too, because that is clearly, as our big boss man Marv checked in, it's the easiest way to do it. And I didn't know they were reversible. I knew, but I just don't believe it. I guess I just didn't buy it. But Jasmine's checking in from Streamwood. Jasmine, ahoy.
Ahoy.
So you said your boyfriend got one and then he just reversed it?
Yes. So he got it done 5 years ago when I knew him, and he was talking about it. I told him not to do it because he might meet somebody. And then he and I got together.
Oh, my gosh.
And I want to have kids. So he finally went, and we went actually like a month ago to get it done.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was an easy procedure. It's longer to reverse it afterwards, but it was all good. Like, he didn't have any issues. It was just uncomfortable for him for like the first 2 weeks after the surgery.
Yep.
So
The bag of peas, everybody keeps talking about that bag of peas you sit on.
yes, that's important.
Why isn't it pizza rolls, by the way? Why is it peas? Why does everybody say peas?
I don't know. Maybe because
You can really stuff them there and move them around.
yeah, if you sit on the pizza roll wrong.
Gotta go deep there.
Pizza
roll has sharp edges. That might hurt you more.
That's very fair. I don't know, because I know
Also,
that.
what if your children want a snack and it's like, sorry, Dad's sitting on it? Like, your children aren't going to ask you for peas. What, do you want to sit on the dino nuggets too? What's your problem, bro?
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
We've been talking a little bit about birth control because everybody listening, I can tell our crew members, either want to have a kid or don't want to have a kid. And
Or don't want to have any more.
Or don't want any
want to
more.
have more.
Yeah. Don't want to pay child support. No, I'm kidding.
Listen,
I'm kidding.
there are certain instances where it's good and certain instances where it's very bad.
Yeah. Following that Kevin Costner thing is wild. But that's a whole other subject of how his divorce is going on. And
There's just a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot going on. But so we talked about vasectomies, talked about birth control. Kenzie really educated me on how birth control affects women. Different ones affect different things. And obviously I've seen it. My wife has been on birth control since, of course, got off the birth control, had beautiful Harper.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're trying to have one more. And then I might get a vasectomy. I think from all the information I've gotten today, despite some of the problems that some people have had, and our boss Marv calling up, I probably, if we get one more kid, I'll get a vasectomy. I'll go ahead and do it. I think I've decided that in the last 45 minutes of discussion. You wanted me to get one, you wanted my mom to get one, right?
Yeah.
Before I left the 3 kids, told me.
You're just pissing me off.
But this was interesting on the text line, 312-591-8300. Kenzie got some information that you didn't even know this, right?
Oh, I didn't because I have not experienced trying to get my tubes tied because I do want to have children with my husband. So
Yeah.
I have not done that or ventured down that path. But we got 2 texts. One was from Mandy, and she went in to get her tubes tied when she was about 30 years old. She wasn't married yet, and she didn't have kids. And the doctor denied her and said until her future husband approves it or she has children, she's not allowed to make that choice for herself. That is what she was told.
That sounds like China.
Well,
No offense to China.
I don't want to crap on China. I don't know their rules. I don't want to make.
Well, they got a
that
rule.
sounds like I don't want to clickbait Facebook discussions. However, another text came in, very separate,
Take a side.
and said that it's not that easy for women to get their tubes tied. They won't unless you have kids, and sometimes unless you have a boy. I don't know if that's right. They sent that in.
That sounds like China.
That's okay. Stop saying that. Just focus on the problem. Because guess where we are? America, and it's happening.
USA.
So hone in on that.
That sounds ridiculous. I don't know how that's legal, to be honest.
And then I Googled it because I'm like, that seems really weird. And what did pop up is a few different stories. Women have posted about their struggles trying to get their tubes tied, saying that they wanted to, their doctors wouldn't let them. And it said, physicians have the right to refuse / may be wary to provide the tubule litigation, I guess is what it's called, to women of childbearing age who haven't had kids. Now they're saying it's mainly because of regret, because there's nothing you can do to reverse it.
Unlike a vasectomy where you can reverse it pretty easily, it sounds like.
Some people are saying it's not easy to reverse this vasectomy, but there is the possibility,
Yeah.
right? That possibility exists. This is permanent. You cannot reverse it. So they're saying it's due to regret. Maybe there was a lot of women who came in and were upset about it. I don't know, but it's just more proof that you need to show up with a signed letter from your husband. It's not easy, Brian.
What does that letter look like? That letter looks like, hey, you can go ahead and tie your tubes. I'm Jeff.
I got someone else pregnant earlier in life. It's fine.
The husband wouldn't show up for the tube tie. You gotta get a note from him.
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
Signed letter.
A signed letter.
You got a husband you go to jail for forging your husband's signature on your tube tie letter?
Yeah, Kenzie can't do recess today because she had her tubes tied. It's a note from her husband.
God.
Dave, the nurse, is checking in. Dave, ahoy.
Good morning. What's up?
Good morning. Yeah, trying to, educate ourselves and educate our crew members here with all this information.
Yeah, so 100%, a guy can get a vasectomy at 18, no questions asked. A woman can not get her tubes tied till she's in her early 30s with consent. It's disgusting. This country is
With
horrible.
consent. Yeah, get your tubes tied with consent.
Now,
Yeah. 18 years old for a guy, no questions asked. He could just decide, but a woman has to kind of, talk people into letting her do it.
but are you in that arena of healthcare?
So I'm in the intensive care unit, but my fiance is a PACU nurse, and they deal with us all the time 'cause she does post-surgical care.
Okay.
And I hear a lot of stories about it.
Was there?
What is the reasoning? So what is their excuse for that? Because they have to come up with an excuse for that, correct?
I have no idea what it is. I think it's just our country is so hard on women with health care and their reproductive rights that men have to be involved in everything.
Yeah, but is it? I'm curious. Do women, because your wife, wife or girlfriend is in that world? So, do women come back and have regret?
I have never heard of regret. I had a vasectomy. I would honestly reverse it because I feel like I still want to have kids at some point.
Okay.
But my fiance has heart conditions, so there was other things that went into it.
Oh, okay.
But there's 100%, men have every right in this country and women have none. And a second thing on your vasectomy thing, if they want to do 2 incisions, leave. The vasectomy should only be 1 incision now. Your dad would have had 2 incisions 25 years ago. It's a very old procedure, so just something else to look into.
Oh, from our previous caller who said they did 1 at a time. Now it should just be 1 incision.
Yeah. So it should just be 1 cut down the middle, and they do both sides. It's a lot safer, a lot easier to heal.
Wow. Okay. Good information. That's wild.
He went to a Dr. Saurus over there. You know what I'm saying?
You have questions, call me back. Not a problem.
Well, thanks for that information. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's wild. That is wild.
1 snip. Brian, I could do this today on you. It's 1 cut.
You grabbing the little kid scissors around?
Put your legs on the table.
No, Harper needs a brother or sister. Then I'll do it. Here's the guarantee. What is it? 8:35 on July 14th. If I get Megan pregnant, have another kid, you can do the vasectomy.
Yay!
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.